Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. This is Derek, Professor Silly Gaming, and welcome back to Is Fallout 4 Broken? Last episode, we had our first crash of the series when we got near the beginning of Automatron, gathering materials and whatnot for 10 Pines Bluff, where I'm at right now. Next, we've got Starlight Drive-in, and I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. With the zombie settlement builds, I built basically a little town, complete with a comic book shop. I don't think I want to do that same thing this time. I am very interested in using, I've yet to use some of the like modular trailer looking pieces. So I don't know, maybe if I can figure out some way of using those, or like the truck trailers, buses, vehicles, things like that. I've never used any of those things in a build before. I'm kind of curious of how I could make that work. But nonetheless, first thing we need to do is actually get down there and see what we got. Right, well, we had to kill a swarm bot, and we had to kill some bloat flies, and then we killed the mole rats, and now we can get into here and we can unlock the workshop, and therefore we can begin work here at Starlight Drive-in. We'll just deposit everything we have, and let's take a look around. Again, when I first started building in this game, first thing I would do is scrap everything, especially the cars. Now, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to keep some of the junk so that I don't have to do quite as much decorating to make the place look like a Fallout location. That said, one of the first things I'm definitely going to do is take care of the radiation barrels in the water. So let's put on my radiation gear and quickly go in and scrap those items so that I'm not picking up rads every time I walk by the water hole. All right, in order to facilitate building, I did have, is it Edie from Automatron? I set Edie up as my provisioner to Red Rocket so that I at least have the building materials from the other sites. Now, one thing I want to do here, since this is part of why I wanted to get Automatron going, is I want to build from Starlight Drive-in a star structure of provisioner lines made of robot provisioners. That is one of the goals here, and I'm leaning towards building some kind of factory, because I don't really want to build a settlement per se. I'm thinking a factory with mostly robots sounds like more fun right at the moment. All right, so towards that end, let's go ahead and set up our robot workbench so that we can begin building those provisioners here in a moment. Red Rocket's only going to have 3 provisioners. They're going to go to Sanctuary Hills. They're going to go to 10 Bluffs Pine, and then eventually to Abernathy. And then Red Rocket is going to have one going to, or I'm sorry, Starlight's going to have one going to Red Rocket, as well as Grey Garden, and then everything else up on this side of the map. I noticed that the curved shape of this concession stand looked very similar to the curved shape of the concrete wall. So I'm thinking about building a control room, because you need to have a computer that runs a factory. I was thinking about putting that up here. So if I build out some walls and some like window things and whatnot, and a staircase, then I can build a structure up here that can contain the computer that runs the factory, and maybe even an on-off switch. I can lower it down into the concession stand, I believe, and that will just give me kind of a personal little control room. So I'm going to build that real quick using all these concrete pieces. All right, that little mini structure is pretty well complete. You can see I have a staircase leading off to the side that leads up into that little office space. I've got some of the concrete screens. Now, I'm going to very quickly work on Codsworth so that Codsworth can carry more stuff. As I go out to areas surrounding Starlight, I want to bring items back here, and so having Codsworth have some actual legs would be useful. And I might as well make him a little bit more combat ready besides. All right, he's starting to look a little bit more capable, a little bit more like my my personal butler slash bodyguard. There you go. He kind of hobbles around. Perfect. We got some of the extra baggage armor that's going to allow him to carry more. So he's also now my pack mule. So let's get back to building. All right, so we're going to need power, and last time with the zombie settlement build, I built basically like wind turbines at the top of this drive-in structure, and I used the Place Anywhere mod to force everything into place, but it wasn't very clean. And I'm wondering now with the scaffolding sections, if I can't place scaffolding and a proper staircase up here and get the wind turbines on top of that, maybe get like 5 up here. After all, the width of these pieces are so perfect. If I have this edge over here just right on the edge of the steel, and I have the other thing right on the edge of where the steel ends, it seems like it should be a perfect fit. So I'm going to put the rest of these pieces into place, and then try to figure out where I'm going to have a staircase that leads up to that higher structure. All right, and the last thing I want is to fall off from this great height, so I've got these guardrails in place, and so yeah, we've got this structure built up here. I was able to fit the staircase in. Can't fall off. That is great. We can build our first wind turbine. So that means we're out of steel. So we got to go find steel. Fortunately, Codsworth can carry plenty of stuff, so let's go get some more materials. And after clearing this super duper mart, and then plus the fat man wielding raider in Lexington, we had enough steel to finish building the rest of the wind turbines generators. I was only able to fit 4 up here, which means I've got a total of 12 power, and that is nowhere near enough to run a factory. Just going to get them centered a little bit better here. So I can't build a regular fusion generator yet. I'm nowhere near a high enough level for that. So I need to figure something else out. And that means heading south and starting up the Vault 88 stuff, because I don't think I need to be any particular level to build the Vault Tech fusion generators. I just need to complete that DLC, which is actually super easy to do. And then that'll give me all the power I need for Starlight Drive-in. But in the meantime, I can at least get started on the general structure of the factory. And I'm going to want to build it into this existing non-scrappable little shed, much like I've seen other builders do. So I'm going to start by lining up my first couple of pieces that I'll be able to snap to. So just a little bit of group select to get this floor and wall into place. I can always make fine-tune adjustments to make sure that's exactly where I want it before I do anything else. I don't really need to snap too much to this directly that's near the existing structure because I'm not going to have a wall going on the other side. So it'll be fine. That's looking pretty good. Now, there's so much shrubbery coming up that I want to, especially in this specific location, I want to place this concrete floor half a wall higher. At least some part of the structure is going to be at this different level, and I'll just have little stairs running in between. So now that floor is in place, I can remove that wall, but that will mean I won't have all of that shrubbery coming up through the flooring per se. And with those in place, now I can at least, since we have a sloped roof on the original shed, I feel like putting a sloped roof right here is also a good idea. It's not necessarily the same angle. Yep, it's not the same angle, but it looks to be part of the same overall structure, which is what I'm going for. So I can remove that. I'm going to remove other parts as well, but I want to at least get a start here. I have an idea, which I'm going to get to here in a moment. But first, I notice there's a little bit of a crack over here between the existing wall and my wall. And I haven't built so much yet that I can't just move everything I have so far over just a little bit. So we'll just nudge it over and see if that fixes it. So we'll just step back around here and just see if I see any bit of gap left over. And no, that's looking much better. On this side, check the floor here. I feel like it might be pulled forward just a little bit. So let's just pull it forward ever so slightly. And double check. Check the other side. Yeah. A little bit of an overlap there. Looks pretty well lined up. A little bit of overlap there. Looks mostly lined up. Just pull it forward ever so slightly and pull it up a little bit. Looks like the stairs are reaching the ground, which there's a floor under there, so of course it would be. Yeah, just looking at the textures of the steel walls, the ones I put there and the originals, and yeah. A little bit of fine-tuning now means that everything else will be just fine. All right, so my big secret idea involves this back wall here. So I'm going to want to remove this wall that I built now that I have everything in place. I used it to make sure that everything was lined up, but it does snap back into place. So if I do want to put it back, I can, but I don't think I want to. Instead, what I want to do, I'm running a little low on steel and screws, so rather than going out and get stuff, let's just scrap some of the stuff that's around here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build a vacuum hopper. Not conveyor, yeah, vacuum hopper, and we'll just line it up so that it's right behind this wall, lined up with the workbench. And then obviously we're going to need to use these left turn conveyor belts to get the items into the factory, because we're right at the edge of the building limit here, or right at the edge of the border of the building area. So we're going to need 2 of these to get things rearranged back to where we need it. Right, sorter is not going to work right here. I need a sorter at some point, but it's not going to work right here because I'm too close to the edge of the building area. And a simple left-hand turn isn't going to work because I'm going to run into that elevated floor. So I'm going to need to have this conveyor belt be on 2 different levels. So I'm going to need this elevator here that turns. If I don't turn, I'm going to hit the edge of the area, and that's no good. And then I'm going to need to build the walls around this. So this got more complicated, but that's okay. We'll carry on. All right, I fiddled with different pieces in these different walls for a while, and I realized that I wasn't going to be able to get everything moved over to fit the walls in. I can't have the back of this go any further over without hitting the edge. So we're going to have a wall sort of build order, sort of built into the elevator. Right after the frustration of trying to get the conveyor belt parts and that back wall all situated, I decided to take a little break and resume work on the Vault 88 stuff, because I do want to get that Vault Tech generator, because again, 12 power is not going to cut it for running a factory. So of course I'm coming to Hallucinogen to do this portion of the Vault 88 quests and whatnot. It's a good diversion from the building, so the building doesn't get stale. And there we go. we just froze up. Give it a little bit of time to see if it's gonna unfreeze. And no, we have our first crash of this episode, and that's 2 episodes in a row. I wasn't expecting it to crash here at Hallucinogen, but fortunately it saved when I entered the building, so that's not a big deal. All right, I set up a little bit more of the factory, just all the pieces. I still might move things around a little bit, but this is pretty close to what it's going to end up being. And I also finished up Vault 88, so I can now build a proper power supply. So now, there we go. We can build this. I need to figure out where I'm going to put it. And we can hook it all up, and we can make sure it's all going to actually work. And then I'll decide whether I'm going to move stuff around or not. Don't think I need that big one. This one here will be fine. It doesn't look like it's going to fit anywhere underneath what I already have, so I'm going to need to build off here just to the side. So another section of the building will have to be created to house this. And I have everything to build it right now, so I could just pop it down. All right, since we've got a hill and we've got all this foliage, we're going to go ahead and move the section with the generator up half of a warehouse wall height, just like this. So now we just need to build a platform large enough to hold the generator and have a little bit of walking room around it. All right, just want to get this lined up with this corner here. I have a slightly odd shape to the flooring here. It's not a perfect square. There's a bit of flooring to the back and a bit of flooring in front now. There is this angle here, which means I'm probably going to need to put down one of them 45-degree floors there, but just want to get this as lined up as I can. Not so it shouldn't be overlapping. Pull that back a little bit. And yeah, that'll give me room to walk around it, and that should be good. Now, if I'm going to put a 45-degree floor back in that corner, then I might as well use the concrete walls. Plus, I figure it's going to be a different roof structure than the rest of the warehouse. It's already got the right height for a staircase, for a little half staircase to work. Plus, it's housing a state-of-the-art generator. So having the factory section of the warehouse be all warehouse metal looking, but have the generator section look all concrete, I don't know, it makes sense to me. And I know these little supports at the bottom aren't necessary, but aesthetics are important. Plus it looks like the wall is more stable with those little supports thrown in there. So I'm going to do the rest over here, and then we need to start building up into a second level. The way I'm doing that is I'm just throwing in a couple and then just moving them over like so. Because it won't snap where I want it to automatically. It has to snap to its friend right next to there. So do that, and then I can, if I want to do that corner, I can add another one, and then another one, and then just move them over just like so. Right, well, I was going to film an outro, because obviously I'm not going to have all of this done within one episode. So I'm going to split Starlight Drive-in into 2 episodes. The build's almost there in real time, but as far as the video editing and then the rest of the final little touches, there's still more to do with it. And it is Friday, so I need to finish this video up. But I went to start it up, and it won't start. When I click on the game, it says sign in or renew the subscription. Sign into the profile used to buy this game, which it is the profile. It's the same profile I've always had with Xbox. Everything is up to date. When I go to look at it in the store, it just won't show up. Every other game I have installed works just fine. So that's weird that I can't get Fallout 4 to come up on my system suddenly. And I'm trying to see if there's any news out there about that. Can't find anything. So regardless, hopefully it gets fixed. Otherwise, I guess that would be the end of me ever playing Fallout 4 ever again, which would suck, because I do like the game, even if it does crash all the time. So yeah, You have a great rest of your whatever. I will see you on the other side, and ta-ta for now.